All right, hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's your buddy, Mr. G. We're going to talk about our new image low poly image project here. What we're going to do with that, we're going to take a photograph or an image, and we're going to apply this technique to it so that we have this kind of video game polygon kind of figure-esque look to it here. It's a pretty fun project. It's basically a technique kind of project, so a lot of people feel really successful with this. You can see what we're doing here. We're kind of breaking things into these polygons and triangles. All right, so let me get out of here. So the first thing I need to do is I need to find a subject, okay? So I'm going to go and find my subject. Now, the subject I want to do this year is I want to do the Joker from The Dark Knight. This is from a movie, so there's lots of low image kind of images from screenshots and stuff. So first I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to go to Size, and I want to go to Large, make sure I'm getting large images. I like this picture here. I'm going to use that. It's 1600 by 896, so that's going to work just fine. I'm going to go ahead and right click on that and say copy image. And then I'm going to go over to Photoshop. In Photoshop here, I've already pasted my picture in here. I made a copy of it once I got it in here. And then I went ahead and locked that copy so it have that, and I made the copy and I changed the name to original. I hit Command S. Now, once I'm in here, let me go ahead and move this over here. What I want to do is I want to grab my polygon lasso tool. Okay, my polygon lasso tool, to make those polygons, what we're going to do is I'm going to make triangles. Triangles work really good because they're three-sided. They fit together really well. So I'm going to go here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to average all of the colors into one. To do that, once I make my selection, first I made a copy of it. So I'm going to go to up here, and I'm going to hit Command C. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to hit Command V, and that's going to paste that onto a new layer like that. So you can see my new layer there. Okay. Now what I want to do there is I want to reselect it. So I hold down the Command key and I reselect that layer again. You can see it reselects that layer. I've got that layer. It's the only thing on that layer. And now I want to average that into one color. So I'm going to go to Filter. I'm going to go to Blur, and then I'm going to go to Average. Then I'm going to hit Command D to deselect that. And then I'm going to go right on back to the Joker here, and I'm just going to keep on keeping on and keep repeating that action. And then I make a selection. I do Command C. I hit Command V. I go and I Command click that so I can reselect it, and I go Select, and then I go to Filter, and then I go to Blur, and then I can go to Average, and then I go to Command D, and then I go back and select this. Okay, now that's very simplified, but that's a lot of clicks to do. So we're going to try and expedite this to make this a little bit easier on you, so you don't have to hit so many clicks, because you're going to have to make thousands of polygons by the time, at least hundreds, right? So the trick is, where you have big areas like his forehead where there's less detail, you'll add big polygons, and smaller polygons around the eyes where there is more detail. All right, so to expedite this, first of all, we're going to turn on the grid. Okay. First, we're going to go to Photoshop, and we need to set our settings for our grid. We're going to go down here to Guides, Grids, and Slices. We're going to go down to Grid. You'll find Grid. There's a specific one here. Color, custom, lines, all that. We're going to make sure that this is all set like you see here. We'll have a grid line every 25 pixels. Now there's the important part, setting it to pixels. It's usually set to every half inch, so you want to change it. If you have it every 25 inches, you won't even see the grid. So make sure you got 25 pixels. Subdivision, you're going to set that to just 1. So we're just going to have every 25 pixels, we're going to have a line. It's set to light blue, which is probably going to work. I've got, he's basically white. It might not show up that well on a purple. We'll see. We're going to go ahead and say OK. Now, after I set that, I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to go down here, and it has Show, and I can show Grid. Okay. It's going to put a grid over top of my character, and see that light blue line there. I can see all of that. Okay. Now in here in View, I also have this snap to, and grids, guides, and layers are all going to snap to that. Now what that means when I zoom in here, you can kind of see here when I click on here, it kind of jumps around and it will snap to those corners. Now that's going to help me actually make my triangles a little bit faster, that I don't have to do that. Okay, and it helps me kind of keep lined up so I can try to keep them connected as well. Okay, now the next thing I am going to do here, like I said, once we make a selection, then we have to copy it, we have to paste it, we have to select that new layer was selected to. Then we have to go to filter. Then we have to go to blur. Then we have to go to deselect. Then we have to reselect our original layer. Okay. So basically we have to go and do, I wrote this all down right here. We have to do all of this every time that we go and make a new polygon, right? So that's a lot to do. So if we can simplify this to one key, that's what we would like to do. Okay, so to do that, we're going to do an action. So going back to our image here. So I have this here. Now we're going to record an action. Okay, if you ever played a video game where you like recorded a finishing move like X, X, Y, up, down, left, right, and assign that to one keystroke, is essentially what we're doing here. Same thing. So we're going to go in here. We're going to go click on here. Up here in your history, you have actions. If you don't see it, you can go up to window. Make sure you have actions checked right there. It's usually right already loaded in your history. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click it here. Now I already made one. Let me make sure I get rid of this here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this run here called poly action. I'm going to go ahead and throw that away because I'm going to redo it. Okay. So we've got ourselves selected on our original layer, and I'm going to select this little plus sign to make a new action. So new action, this new action I'm going to call poly, and on my poly action, okay, now you see that little red button's going and record. Now anything I click from here on out, it's going to record. So I'd have to be very intentional about what I'm clicking. Okay, so first make sure I'm on the right layer. I've got the original layer clicked. Okay, and I'm going to hit Command C to copy. You see it copied that stroke. I hit Command V to paste it. You see it copied that. I'm talking about right up here. You see copy and paste. Okay, now I'm going to hold down Command and click the new layer just made right above my original. Set selection is going to reselect that. Now I'm going to go to Filter, and I'm going to go to Blur, and I'm going to go to Average. Going to average that. Then I'm going to hit Command D to deselect that. Finally, I'm going to select Original again and go back to that original layer. Now I'm going to hit Stop Recording. It's the little box here, Stop Recording, and it's going to stop recording what I have here. So I should have Copy, Paste, Set Selection, Average, Set Selection, and select Layer Original again. Okay. Now, I need to assign this to a key. Now I'm going to assign this to my F9 key because it doesn't have a function to it. Now, and then I'll say OK. And then let's try it out. Now, if everything worked all right, I should be able to grab my polygon lasso tool, go to my original, and I should be able to make a polygon and just hit my F9 key, and that will happen automatically. And I can just go on my way, hitting F9 and keep going until I have my low poly figure done. Okay, so please watch the video. Please take careful instructions to get that action done. Right here, again, I've got it wrote down. I would suggest writing it down just quickly so you can get that down. This is where mistakes are going to happen in this assignment. Okay, but after you got that, you just keep on trucking. Again, the only part is you make small triangles around the eyes and around details like the teeth and mouth and things like that. And out in broader areas, you're going to make bigger polygons like on his forehead here or in the background. Okay. All right. Have fun, stay creative, and I will talk to you soon.